Poetry. O Captain, my Captain. Walt Whitman, 1819 to 1892. Page 31. Summary. The bloody and violent trip of the Civil War between North and South is over. The poet imagines America as the ship and President Abraham Lincoln as the captain. The captain has steered the ship through the stormy and turbulent voyage, representing the bloodshed of the Civil War, and the ship has reached the port safely. This indicates the victory of the country over the bloody Civil War. President Abraham has brought down the Civil War and preserved the country's unity and integrity. This is the object which America has won. But President Abraham Lincoln, under whose able leadership the Civil War is brought down, falls a victim of the enemy's bullet. The people are rejoicing to celebrate the victory and welcome the President. The flag is fluttering in the wind. The trumpet sounds and bouquets and garlands adorned with ribbon are brought as presents to him. The shore is crowded with people, but he is lying dead on the deck in a pool of blood. The poet mourns his tragic death. He cannot believe his death. He paces up and down on the deck, brooding over the death of his president. সারাংশ। আমেরিকার একজন মহান এবং যোগ্যতম নেতা আব্রাহাম লিঙ্কনের বেদনাদায়ক মৃত্যুই এই কবিতার সারবস্তু। তার যোগ্য নেতৃত্ব আমেরিকার গৃহযুদ্ধে জয় এনেছিল। তিনি নিজের রক্ত ও প্রাণ দিয়ে দেশের সংহতি রক্ষা করেন। তার মৃত্যু বীরের মৃত্যু এবং তার লক্ষ্যের সাফল্য জাতীয় বিষয়। পৃষ্ঠা 32। তার মৃত্যুতে সারা দেশ যেমন শোকাহত, আর অন্যদিকে কবি দেশবাসীকে তার সাফল্যে আনন্দোল্লাসে আহ্বান জানাচ্ছেন। তার নেতৃত্বের বিজয় পাঠকের মনে সাহস, জাতীয়তাবোধ ও গভীর স্বদেশপ্রীতির প্রভাব ফেলে। শোক ও আনন্দই হল কবিতাটির বিষয়বস্তুর মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য। Full marks 5. Question 1. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells. Who says this? Who exult and why? Questionটা আরেকবার পড়ছি আমি। Question number 1. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells. Who says this? Who exult and why? Answer. W. Whitman says this in his poem, O Captain, my Captain. The people of America expressed their wild joy at the victory which the country has achieved. America, under the able leadership of Abraham Lincoln, has triumphed over the violent Civil War which threatened the country's unity and integrity. Thus the unity and integrity of America is achieved and preserved, and the system of slavery which was a curse to the nation has been done away with. Question 2. The ship was withered every wreck. The prize we sought is won. A. Who is the speaker? What do you mean by the ship has withered every wreck? B. What is the prize? How is it won? Answer. A. Whitman is the speaker in his poem, O Captain, my Captain. Here the word wreck means storm and turbulence. The quoted sentence means that the ship has overcome all dangers and the captain has come and the captain has come out triumphant through the trip. Abraham, who is imagined as the captain, has controlled the Civil War in America. B. The prize refers to the preservation of the integrity of America. The Civil War was successfully brought down through bloodshed, and thus the integrity of America was preserved. Page 33. Question 3. Do you think that Walt Whitman's O Captain, my Captain is an Elegy. Answer. The elegy is a poem of mournfulness. It is the poet's meditation over death. But the note of sorrow changes into joy and resignation towards the close of the elegy. The features of an elegy are present in this poem. The poem opens with the note of sadness of the death of Abraham Lincoln, the great President of America, and ends on a note of rejoicing of the leader's victory over the bloody civil war of the country. The poet laments the leader's death and on the other hand praises highly his success in his mission, so that the poem can be called an elegy. Elegy. 4. Question 4. It is some dream that on the deck. Within quotes. What is the dream referred to here? Why does the poet Whiteman call it some dream? The North Bengal University 2011. Or it is some dream that on the deck you are fallen cold and dead. A. Who is the speaker? Where do the lines occur in? B. What does the poet mean by some dream? Answer A. Walt Whiteman is the speaker. These lines occur in his poem entitled O Captain, My Captain. B. Page 34. B. The poet had deep love and respect for Abraham Lincoln. He could not have the courage to accept the stern reality of the death of the president. To him, the news of his death was too tragic to believe. He could not think of losing him permanently. Such a heart-rending news was unbelievable to him. He thought his death a dream, not a reality. The thought of dream regarding the president's death was the only source of consolation. So he thinks that the president lying dead in a pool of blood on the deck was a dream. Question 5. Who is the captain? Why is he called so? North Bengal University 2011. Or who is the captain in the poem O Captain, My Captain? Why did he do for his আবার বলছি who did he do for his country? এটা who হবে না, what হবে? এটা ভুলি আছে, এখানে what হবে. What did he do for his country? What happened to him? Answer. Walt Whiteman imagines Abraham Lincoln as a captain of a ship in his poem O Captain, My Captain. As an expert captain of a ship sails his ship through risks and hazards safely to shore, so President Lincoln brought down the Civil War that threatened the unity of America. Thus he protected and preserved the integrity of the country. Abraham Lincoln made no compromise with the unity of America. He preserved it with his blood. He fell a victim to the enemy's bullet. The poet imagines him lying dead in a pool of blood on the deck of the ship which represents the country. Page 35. Question 6. The ship is anchored safe and sound. A. Where does the sentence occur in? What does the ship refer to? B. Explain briefly the meaning of the line. Answer A. This sentence occurs in Walt Whiteman's poem entitled O Captain, My Captain. The ship in this poem refers to America. Abraham Lincoln is imagined as the captain of the ship. B. The poet metaphorically says that the ship manned by Abraham Lincoln, imagined as a captain, has to face the stormy and turbulent sea. The storm and turbulence might have wrecked the ship, but the captain was able and expert. He brought it ashore safely. It has now been anchored well so that it is protected from storms and tempests of the sea. In the same way, Abraham was an able leader. Under his leadership, the violent civil war which threatened the unity of America was successfully brought down, and thus the unity and integrity of the country was protected and preserved. Question 7. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. Who is the captain? What does the expression fearful trip mean? Gourbanga University, 2010. Or, from fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object one. এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা আরেকবার পড়ছি. What is the fearful trip referred to here? What does the victor ship refer to? What is the object one? আচ্ছা, এই একটা ভুলই হলো. এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা আমি পুরোটা পড়ে দিচ্ছি. Question number 7. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. Who is the captain? What does the expression fearful trip mean? Gourbanga University, 2010. Or, from fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object 1. North Bengal University, 2007-8. What is the fearful trip referred to here? What does the victor ship refer to? What is the object 1? Answer. Abraham Lincoln, President of America, who subdued the civil war in America and preserved the country's integrity, is addressed as the captain. Page 36. The fearful trip refers to the stormy, turbulent and risky voyage which the captain undertook. He brought the ship ashore successfully. It means that Abraham Lincoln, the slain President of America, brought down the bloody and violent civil war in America. The expression victor ship means the ship which braved the storms and tempests in the sea and reached the port safely. Contextually, it referred to America, which achieved victory over the civil war. The word object referred to the unity and integrity of America achieved and preserved. Question 8. Our fearful trip is done. A. Who is the speaker here? What is the meaning of trip? Why is it called fearful? Explain the line. B. Explain the line. Answer. A. Walt Whitman is the speaker in this poem, O Captain, my Captain. Here the word trip means a journey by sea. It actually refers to the civil war between North and South. This ship is called fearful because the civil war was violent and bloody, and it threatened the integrity of America. B. The poet here refers to the blood-shedding civil war in America. America is represented by the ship which was manned by the slain President Abraham Lincoln, who is imagined as the captain. The voyage was dangerous as the sea was turbulent and the ship might have sank at any moment. Similarly, the civil war was so violent and bloody that America might have been split. The violent situation was successfully controlled and the integrity of America was preserved. This idea is expressed through the safe arrival of the ship to the shore. Page 37, question 9. But I with mournful tread walk the deck, my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. A. Who is I referred to here? Who is addressed as my captain? B. Why does the poet mourn? Answer. A. I in the poem, O Captain, my Captain, refers to Walt Whitman, poet of this poem. Abraham Lincoln, the slain President of America, has been addressed by the poet as my captain. The poet imagines him as the captain of a ship which represents America. B. The people of America celebrate the victory of Abraham Lincoln over the violent civil war which threaten the unity and integrity of the country. But the poet is extremely shocked at the death of such an able leader at the moment of victory. The leader shed his blood to strengthen the unity of the country. His death is tragic and an irreparable loss for the whole nation. The poet is heavy with grief, and instead of joining the rejoining people who paces up and down the deck with the president lying dead in pool of blood over his tragic death. Question 10. Comment on the title of the poem, O Captain, My Captain. North Bengal University 2013. Or elucidate the central theme of O Captain, My Captain. North Bengal University 2012. Or write in brief the central idea of O Captain, My Captain. Answer. The poem is an elegy mourning the tragic death of President Abraham Lincoln, who is imagined as the captain of a ship which represents America. As an expert captain brings his ship to the port safely through storms and tempests in the sea, so Abraham Lincoln brought down the Civil War which threatened America's unity and integrity, and he protected and preserved it at the cost of his life. Page 38. The people celebrate the country's victory over the Civil War under his able leadership, but the poet is overwhelmed with grief at his tragic death, which is an irreparable loss for the nation. He paces up and down on the deck, brooding over his death. So the title is perfect and competent. Question 11. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. Who is addressed as a captain? Why is he addressed as captain? Bring out the meaning of the expression fearful trip. Gourbanga University 2012. Or, here Captain, dear father, this aim beneath your head. A. Who is addressed as captain? Why does the poet address him as dear father? B. Why does the poet place his hand under the captain's head? Answer. Abraham Lincoln. Answer A. Abraham Lincoln, President of America, who subdued the Civil War in America and preserved the country's integrity, is addressed as the captain. White man loved and respected Abraham Lincoln greatly. He looked upon him as a great leader with a genuine sense of duty to the country. To him, Lincoln was the guide and guardian of the whole nation. He did much to preserve and protect the unity of America. He was worthy to become father of the nation. For those, the poet addresses Lincoln as dear father. B. The captain falls a victim to the enemy's bullets. He was lying dead on the deck in a pool of blood. The poet cannot believe that the president was dead. He wanted him to stand up and respond to his call. So he puts hands under the captain's head to enable him to stand up. এই কবিতাটির এখানেই শেষ হলো। পরেরটি পরের ফাইলে।